Hi, Erin here. So, today I'm going to share my personal journey with you, and I hope this will be an inspiration to you because I was in a pretty bad place. And if I would have continued down that road, I don't know what it would have happened. It would have been pretty bad. Um, my brain was just seemed to be degrading. And I think it was definitely a number of factors. We always like to try to find the root cause, and what was the one thing that made it happen. But I've learned a lot, and I'll do other videos on root causes, and causal webs because it's not just one thing. So I was having a lot of trouble with my brain. It was about 14 years ago, and I was forgetting to pick my kids up from places. I forgot to meet my husband for an important meeting. And it was really easy to brush it off and say, well, I'm too busy. Yes, I was too busy. I was doing way too many things. I was really stressed, but I did not know that. I was doing what everybody else was doing. So, there was no reason for me to think. That just goes into a whole nother story and video that I'll do about what's normal versus common. Really, the straw that broke the camel's back was I was teaching long division one day to my fifth graders, and I realized that I was struggling so much to remember the last step that I explained to them so I could teach them the next step. And I was just pulling and using so much energy to remember what I said last to say the next thing. And I was teaching long division, which I had done for years. And it was a big moment for me because, the high flyers in my class, they were catching me. I was making mistakes, and that was scary. And I was always okay with them, if I make a mistake when I'm teaching, like I'm totally okay with somebody calling me out on it, and we'll figure it out, fix it. But this wasn't that. This was really scary for me to realize that it was taking so much mental effort to teach this long division, and it shouldn't have been. And it was a really scary time to me. So I went to my regular MD. He did blood work. Of course, everything came back okay. We ended up doing an MRI. He told me I was just stressed, and that was part of it. But there was a whole lot more to it that I learned. And the MRI, of course, came out fine. Everything was good. So he sent me off on my way saying, I'm fine. Whereas I was absolutely confident I was not okay. I don't even know where I would have ended up. It was actually quite scary. I don't know where I would have ended up if I didn't change some things. So I started doing some research, and I came across the work of Dr. Mark Hyman and read his book, Ultra Mind Prevention. It's a book, it's like this thick. And I was trying my hardest to digest that information, make lists for myself of things that I needed to do, supplements I needed to take, based on symptoms that I had. And his book is amazing, but I realized that I did not have the mental capacity or energy to do that on my own. So I searched for and found a functional medicine doctor who I worked with, and I went through his program. It totally changed my life. And I eventually decided, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to help other people change their lives also and feel this way, because I remember coming home, walking in the front door and going, wow, I don't have to go get in bed. I have energy to be with my kids and to make dinner, and I can stand up straight. I don't have, as much achiness as I did. And honestly, I didn't know that I had achiness before. I didn't realize that I was in bed all the time. So it was such a beautiful thing to realize that I didn't have to do these things anymore. And I really want to share that with other people. So one of the things that was very intriguing to me when I started doing research into functional medicine was the intersection of Eastern medicine and Western medicine. And that was just a pivotal point for me to realize that there is a whole medical system on the other side of the world that has been around for thousands of years that helps to treat things that we deal with all the time here. So I was fascinated with that and wanted to know what could I do to go back to school to be able to serve people and help them change their lives also. So I did a bunch of research, and my first choice, because of the kind of person I am, go getter and do everything the best you can, was to become an MD. So I talked to a couple people that I knew who are MDs, and I asked them, I was like, is it really as demanding and stressful to go through school to become a doctor? And they both said, yes, absolutely. And so that helped me make my decision. I'm in the point of life where my children are grown. I knew that they were going to probably be having grandkids in the next years, and I didn't want to miss out on them and their lives and the lives of my loved ones around me. Throughout this journey, I've realized that there is balance in life. I need to set boundaries and create that balance. I can't just let things happen to me. So I decided not to go and become an MD. And I was looking at alternatives and decided that becoming a physician's assistant would be a great alternative, because then I could work under an MD and practice functional medicine. So as I was going back to school, this was actually, I believe, in 2019, 2020, and I was going back to school and doing my prerequisites to become a physician's assistant. And when I was doing that, I was like, okay, how am I going to learn about, Eastern medicine, functional medicine, and what am I going to do to incorporate those things into my practice? Because I was very aware that I didn't want to get stuck writing prescriptions all day long. And I was very aware that PAs, MDs, Western medical are very stuck in that rat race of making money and prescribing this and prescribing that, and that very linear way of thinking and that very reductionist way of thinking. And I did not want to get stuck in that. And so I was looking at things and other things that I could learn to expand my knowledge so I could share that with others also. And I kept coming across acupuncture. And honestly, at that point, I thought acupuncture was woo-woo. I thought it was new agey. I thought, but I thought it was woo-woo. But it kept coming up in research. Insurance companies were starting to pay for it, and all these medical studies were being done, and that it helps with pain, and it helps with this, and it helps with that. And I was like, okay, so if our Western medicine is acknowledging that this is helping things, then there must be something to it, a little more than I know. So I started researching. I started actually going to acupuncture myself, since I didn't really know what it did and I didn't really have a whole lot of pain. And I don't think I really believed it could help with pain at that point. I was like, let's just, I'm going to go try it out for stress relief. And I met the most amazing acupuncture physician in town here. I was so impressed by her brilliance. And because I was taking anatomy and physiology at the time as a prerequisite, and I absolutely loved it. So she and I were talking anatomy and physiology, and I was like, wait a minute, she knows anatomy and physiology. She is she does acupuncture and Chinese medicine. How does she know all this stuff about Western medicine? Well, it turns out that acupuncturists in Florida have to, one of the national boards we have to pass is our biomedicine board. So we have to know a lot about Western medicine also. But anyway, that meeting with her was wonderful because it inspired me, and that smart, brilliant people could be acupuncturists, which I know that might sound really offensive to other acupuncturists, people who do Eastern medicine, but that was my view of it at the time. So anyway, I've come a long way because I am one of those people now. I'm an acupuncturist and practice Eastern and herbal medicine, and I'm very proud of it. I've learned that it is a whole nother world that has so much to offer. And it's so exciting how our worlds connect and interact. And we can use remedies that they've been using for thousands of years on the other side of the earth. So I look forward to learning more about you, and I'd love to bring you along on this journey with me. You don't have to be stuck where you are. You don't have to accept the foggy thinking and the chronic achiness. And you probably actually don't even know you have those things. But if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, I knew I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, then I want to be an inspiration to you and help you realize that you don't have to stay that way. There is help for you. And it's an exciting journey.